very good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Asha Kansha Foundation's Center for Environmental and Sanitation Studies, I welcome you all to today's webinar on biomedical waste management in India. The Asha Kansha Foundation is a non-governmental organization founded in 2013 with the goal of raising awareness in society and providing quality education to those who are void of it. We organize a variety of events on a regular basis with the goal of facilitating the overall growth and development of youth. Amidst the ongoing global pandemic, the generation of biomedical waste has increased substantially, posing a serious threat to both species and environment if being not disposed properly. This event aims to raise awareness about the current state of biomedical waste management in India, as well as why disposing it properly is critical for both human health and the environment. To address this very issue, we are thrilled to have Mr. Tarun Sharma as a keynote speaker. Mr. Tarun Sharma is an accomplished, resourceful waste management and health and safety professional with over 5 years of experience and hands-on knowledge of various waste rules, acts, and standards in compliance management. He has done a Master of Technology in Urban Development and Management from the TERI School of Advanced Studies in New Delhi, a Bachelor of Technology in Electrical and Electronics from the Krishna Institute of Engineering and Technology in Ghaziabad, as well as a Diploma in Electrical from the Birla Technical Training Institute in Pilani. We are delighted with your presence, sir. Without further ado, we'll turn the time over to you.
Hello. Hi, Diksha. Thank you for the sweet words. It's an honor for me to be a part of this seminar. And I'm going to share my presentation on the screen. Let me know when it is visible to you, right?
Sure, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is. You may
Hi.
begin now.
I would like to thank you, Asha Foundation, again to invite me for presenting the biomedical waste presentation and give you the glimpse about how the waste management has been increased over a period of time in India. So why we have chosen the biomedical waste? As this is the time of pandemic, the people are suffering from the COVID-19, and due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the waste management things has been reduced because of the pile up of the waste, because of the mask and the things which has been used to treating the waste. So in this presentation, we are going to cover the things which is related to the biomedical waste. So I'll give you the glimpse about why the waste management is very important. So the system which we are working nowadays, it's a linear system, and you have to understand one thing, that resources are very limited. We have the only one earth and it has very limited resources. The system in which we are working, in the end of 10 or 20 years later, we don't have the much resource to create the new things. So we have to change the system. So that the system which is working today is start from the extraction, in which we extract the raw materials to create the things. In the second step, we manufacturing the goods from extracting material. Like if we are extracting metals, we create the tars, mobile tars from them. And later on, we distribute those things where it is required. Later on, the people consume it, which is depend on that what kind of people things are required. And later on, we after the end of the life, we dispose that material somewhere else, which is not in environmental sound manner. So what we are doing, we are just destroying the planet by consuming a lot of the things and not giving the material to the proper recycling channels, right? So how we can change the things? We can change the things by involving ourselves in a circular economy. So what is circular economy? So circular economy works in a system in which when we discard anything, we put that thing into the circle again to create the raw material from it and manufacturing new things from it. So that thing starts from the extraction also. Second, this is a very important phase which is missing nowadays. We generally, what we are doing, the product is being designed to be disposed early, which is not a good thing. So we supposed to change the designing of the product, that it should long laster, and as well as we can recycle, reuse it again. Later on, the things depend on the manufacturing unit in which product the designed product is being manufactured. Later on, we distribute that product for the consumers, and the consumers use that product, use it, reuse it if they are selling it again, and sometimes we face some issues in the product and we get it repaired. Later on, when the product is reached their end of life, we collect, the informal sector collect it, and like kabadiwalas and all, and they feed this discarded product to the cycle, in the cycle of recycling, and we later on recycle the things, and we extract the metals, and we put those metals again in the system. So this is the sustainable system which we need to incorporate in the coming time. So later on, we will talk about what is the strategies, what are the statistics related to the waste in the India. So I'll talk about the waste, which is plastic waste, biomedical waste, hazardous waste, and the e-waste management. So I have taken this data from the CPCB report, which came into the 2017. So in which they published that we are generating almost 62 million tons of waste that include the plastic waste, biomedical waste, hazardous waste, and e-waste, and the C&D waste. C&D waste is the construction and demolition waste. So in that part, there is this minuscule part which is 0.117 million ton. It seems very less number, but if you see past 2 years, you will realize this number has increased exponentially, which is a very problematic situation for us in the coming time. And if you calculate how much amount of waste is generating by the per person, so in India we are generating 200 to 600 gram per person per day. So that is a very huge number, in which there are the two kind of waste generally, the dry waste and the wet waste, and जिसको आप हिंदी में बोलते हैं सूखा कूड़ा और गीला कूड़ा, right? And there is a very problematic situation in our waste collection system. We are in past decade we have started to consuming a lot of things which is creating the lot of waste, and the collection mechanism, we don't have the sound collection mechanism for that, in which we are collecting only 43 million ton of waste out of 62 million, which is very less number, and out of 62 million we are dumping 31 metric ton in the landfill areas. Have you seen, most probably a lot of people have seen the Delhi Gazipur sites. So these kind of sites are emerging everywhere in the states. States like if you go to the Gazipur, so there are also new upcoming site which is piling up over there. So why if we predict how much waste gonna be increased in the coming time, so in the coming years the number which is 62 million ton nowadays it's become 165 million ton in the 2030. So it's a exponential leap in the waste generation, which is gonna be a very problematic situation for India if it can't be managed properly. And if we see the projection in the 2050, it's gonna be 436 million. So it's a increase in a multifold compared to the 62 millions. So what is the problem? If you see the figures, you will realize there are major gaps in the collection, disposing, and the generation of the waste. So what we can do, we can use that waste into the resource. So there are the things which are untapped here. We can use that waste to generate the energy. So there's a term which is used in the waste management is the RDF. RDF is a fuel refuse dry fuel. We can use the dry waste to create the energy, heat, and that heat can be used to generate the electricity. And we can, by the using the wet waste, we can create the biomass that can be used, the subsidiary of LPG. And there are the another section which can be also be covered by if we compose the wet waste. So there are the agriculture department which are buying lot of compost from the various procurement sites, which can be sorted by if we convert that wet waste into the compost. So these are the things which we need to look after, right? So there this presentation is all about the biomedical waste. So the biomedical waste is the something which came into the picture in 1998, which was first time that was introduced in that 1998. Before that, there was the only rule, that was the EPA Act, Environmental Protection Act, in which not lot of things were covered. So later on, they realized in 1998 that is the thing which need to be cared of. So they released a rule which was only covering the certain parts of the waste management. And later on, that 1998 rule was amended, and later on, new rule came into the picture in 2011, in which they covered a lot of the stakeholders which are generating the waste. And later on, recently in 2016, this rule has been amended again and new rule came to the picture. So what they did in 2016, they emphasized on the collection, segregation, transportation, and the treatment of biomedical waste in an environmental sound manner. So this is the major change which has come in 2016 and which was very important. So this is the line which I came when I was making this PPT. Let the waste of the sick not contaminated the lives of healthy. So why the waste, biomedical waste, is a threat for us? So nowadays this is the time of pandemic and people are throwing their masks and other stuff in the water bodies, in everywhere on roads. So what impact it will create if water bodies will be contaminated? So our life, the drinking cycle will be affected, and that if the drinking cycle will be affected, we will not be healthy in a coming time. So we supposed to take care of the product which we are throwing, that need to be thrown in an environmental sound manner, right? So I'll later on tell you how you can store your biomedical waste at your home and how you can dispose in an environmental sound manner so it can be disposed properly. So we need to understand what is the biomedical waste. So any waste which is generating by the diagnostic process, treatment process, or any research activities is the biomedical waste, right? So it can be like any if the syringe is being used by the any organization for the vaccination process, and any operation is being done in the hospital, so that's gonna be under the biomedical waste. So we need to understand these rules are applicable to whom. So these rules are applicable to everyone, but they are the major players who are playing the major role. So they are here in this slide. I am just trying to cover the stakeholders. The first stakeholders is hospitals. So hospitals are generating the major chunk of the biomedical waste because they are the ones who are treating the patient, they are the ones who is operating the patient, they are the ones who are vaccinating the patient. So these are the major players. Second, the nursing homes, in which you generally go for any minor diseases, right? So another is clinic. Another is dispensaries, veterinary institutes, animal houses, slaughterhouses, pathological labs, blood banks, IUH hospitals, clinics, research and education institutes, health camps, medical and surgical camps, vaccinated camps. So nowadays, these vaccinated camps are very important and they are generating the huge chunk of the biomedical waste. Blood donation camps, first aid rooms in the schools and colleges, forensic labs, and the research labs. So these are the major players, and they are the major generators of the biomedical waste. And the other which is not being covered here is your household. In every third household we are a patient of COVID-19, and if we are having any patient at home, there must be generation of biomedical waste in the form of masks, gloves, syringes, and all, right, and the medicines. So they are the things which I am trying to have been covered here. They are the uh, there is a problem in the segregation of the biomedical waste. So it has been covered in this slide how we can segregate the waste. So some things are which is related to the common people, but some are related to stakeholders, which has been showed in the previous slides. So if you see the first biomedical waste 2016 rule, there are the four categories the rules has been spoke about. So in the yellow categories, we segregate the waste in the that which is generating by the human and animal operations. In the red categories, we generally put the plastic waste, which is like any glucose bottles and all. In the white categories, we place white dustbin. We place generally the knives, the syringes, and the metal stuffs. And the blue, we place the glass stuff to so it can be disposed in a properly sound manner. So which is, there are the another rule which is very important nowadays, it's solid waste management. And why it is related? Because biomedical waste only talk about the stakeholders which are which I was talking about the slide.
Sorry to disturb you, sir, but slides are not changing. In case you are, because
Is it?
yeah, it's visible now. It has changed now. Okay, sir. You may continue. Sorry for the disruption.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. Yeah. So why the solid waste management is very important? Because solid waste management talk about the thing which we are generating from the households. So there are the 2 or 3 kind of waste which we are generating. First, the wet waste. Second is dry waste, and third waste construction and demolition waste, and fourth one is biomedical waste. So anything which is related to the COVID-19 patient, like the gloves, the masks, syringes, will come into the biomedical waste section related to solid waste management. So how we can dispose those waste in an environmental sound manner? So there that we can use this yellow in the second section. You can see that we can use the yellow bag to dispose the biomedical waste at home, and we can provide that back to the ULBs. And what are the ULBs? ULBs are the urban local bodies which are generally coming at your home in the form of Ghanta Gadis, collection programs and all. They help you to collect that waste and dispose that waste with the help of biomedical facilities, right? So this is the another slide in which why I have made this slide, because segregation is a very problematic situation in India. People are not doing the segregation at their home. I'll tell you about an incident which when I was doing a study for the EDMC, Delhi Municipal Corporation, and I realized that people have 2 or 3 dustbin at their home. First for their kitchen, second for their main rooms, and third for the guest rooms. But in the end, when they are giving that waste to any waste collector, like the Ghanta Gadis and any waste collector, red pickers and all, they are mixing that waste in a single bucket and giving it to the local body person, which is very wrong. If you are doing the segregation, you're supposed to make the 3 polythenes and give it to the waste collectors. So it would be easy for them to segregate that waste and help them to decompose in an environmental sound manner. So they are the 5 categories of waste which has been described in the biomedical waste. First one is black. And in black dustbin, we generally put the medicine which is being consumed and which has been consumed, and the way medicine which is expired. So we need to take care that those medicines should not get entered in the water bodies and the other waste management channels, because it's gonna be contaminate our other channels in the end, right? And the late red bins, we need to place the dressing which has been utilized after the patient has been treated after any operation and all. And in the yellow container, we need to place any organ, any tissue, anything which is generating after the operation and all. And in the blue, we have to place the plastic waste like the packaging and all. So it can be recycled again and disinfected again by the biomedical facilities. And in the end, in the white container, we need to place the syringes and needles and all. So it can be glass, can be recycled, and again it can be converted into glass bottles and other stuffs also, right? So there is a important thing we generally missed in the biomedical system, and this is how the system works. So in first step of any biomedical system is the collection and the generation. So in this first is hospital, which is generating the waste, and that waste is generally collected by the any waste collector. And later on, that waste which is being collected is transported to the site where it's gonna be treated. And in this second section, if you read that treatment is treatment by the stream. So why we treat the biomedical waste by the stream? Because they are the infections which is related to the biomedical waste, which need to be disinfected. And later on, we store the infected stuff in the chambers, and later on we incinerate those stuff, so it can be converted into the powder form, and later on that powder will be transported to the disposal site, and later on it will be landfilled for the 20 or 25 years. So it can't spoil our water bodies and all, right? So in this slide, I tried to cover, I have taken this data from the CPCB website. CPCB is Central Pollution Control Board, which generally publish the data related to any waste. It can be plastic waste, biomedical waste, C&D waste, and other waste. So why I have taken this data? Because nowadays this is the time of pandemic, and every third person is suffering from the COVID-19. So there is a huge surge in the generation of biomedical waste. So there are the two categories. We will divide the biomedical waste. First, the medical generally was generating earlier before the COVID-19 period, and the waste which is later on generated after the COVID-19 period. So there the 609 metric ton of waste was generated in the year of 2020. And 101 metric ton out of which 710 metric ton of was a total waste was generated, and out of them 101 metric ton was the COVID-19 biomedical waste. So it's a huge number which is need to be taken care by the urban local bodies. So in the second section, I was trying to cover the waste is generating by the states. And if you, most of the participants are from the Delhi NCR region. If you see there the Delhi section, you will find that there is a 11.111 metric ton of waste is generating in the Delhi. And Delhi is a very, very small place, and the density is very high. So if you see that number with related to the population, this number is very high. And if we talk about the Gujarat has 11.669 metric ton of waste which is being generated, and the major waste was generating by the Maharashtra, because it has the most COVID patient in the India, right? So that need to be maintained. That is a burden which is being faced by the biomedical facilities. So how everybody can help them to dispose the waste in a environmental sound manner. So there are the responsibilities which has been provided by the CPCB, which has been covered in the next slide. So there are the do and don'ts which has been provided by the Central Pollution Control Board. So so urban local bodies are the bodies like the Nagar Palika, Nagar Nigam. So they have to provide the yellow bins or any yellow packaging to the every COVID-19 patient. So he or she can store that waste which has been generating due to the COVID-19 suffering period, and in the end it can be disposed by the help of local bodies. So these are the responsibilities which need to be taken care by the Nagar Palika, and they are the responsibilities of the person. If the person is suffering from the COVID-19, he or she need to store the all the mask, all the gloves in the that polythene only in that is provided by the Nagar Palika, or it can be bought by himself or herself, right? And in the end that package bag should be disposed with the help of Nagar Palika within a 72 hours. That need to be that is a responsibility of ULBs, right? So there are the certain things which we do not do in like do and don'ts. Like in don't section we do not to mix the waste with the other waste, because if the waste will be mixed with the other waste, it's gonna impact our healthcare system, and the other it's gonna impact our other waste streams. So if any person is suffering from the COVID-19, he is supposed to use the only surgical mask, and it should be used only for one time only. You're supposed to not need to use it again and again, because it's gonna increase the chance of infections, right? And if person is suffering from COVID-19, he or she should be stored the biomedical waste not more than the 48 hours. And in the under the 48 hours, he or she supposed to dispose that waste to the urban local bodies, right? So these are the do and don'ts we supposed to take care. So thank you for your time and the consideration. Thank you, Diksha.
Well, thank you for such an enlightening event, sir. Now I would like to call Vanshika ma'am for a vote of thanks.
And if anybody are having doubt related to waste management, they can write to me on my email ID, that is bbmtarun@gmail.com, and they even can call me on 8802025552 for any waste management issues.
Sure, sir. We would actually provide all your email IDs and everything to all the participants, and they can further contact you.
Right.
So
Thank you.
it's an honor. Yeah, thank you, sir. So it's an honor that I got a chance to express vote of thanks on behalf of Asha Akanksha Foundation. I extend my gratitude towards our respected speaker, Mr. Tarun Sharma, who took out time from his busy schedule to grace this event. Thank you, sir, for inspiring and encouraging us with your kind words. I must thank the organizing team of Asha Akanksha Foundation for working hard for past few days to make this webinar successful. Would like to thank our lovely audience, because this event would have never been possible without you guys. Thank you everyone for your presence.